race and ethnicity. He leads legal policy work
Here it
around
is,
education,
the
community
news
involvement,
about the
and criminal justice
coronavirus.
reform. Strickland says the barriers
That's
in
right,
equality seen today
the news
is the
about the
direct result of
coronavirus.
structures and systems that have privileged certain groups over others.
It's rooted in our history, from slavery to redlining and Jim Crow, to the war on drugs and mass incarceration. But now, on top of that, you're talking about an inability to pass down wealth from generation to generation because of discriminatory laws and policies.
Strickland cites the New Deal era as an example. What's often overlooked is while the policy created the middle class we see today, mostly white people were taking advantage of the benefits and privileges and built wealth over time, while African Americans were often denied. And while many view education as a pathway to prosperity, Strickland says the economic return can be diminished for African Americans when it comes to student loan debt. Strickland says in regards to Columbus, the city is woefully short in investing in the social sector, health and human services, and schools.
If you're saddled with student loan debt, that's going to make things difficult. Further, a lot of families, especially black and brown families, are in situations where they might have to support other family members throughout the process. And so not only are you trying to pursue a degree and then a later career, but you also might have to be able to have to support families. So it really constrains choice.
Dr. John Navin is Dean of the College of Business Administration at Ohio Northern University. He says there is a clear difference in wealth and income and divided among racial lines. And the question becomes, why? Dr. Navin, who has studied race-based income statistics for the past 30 years, says the two factors that drive the wealth gap are educational attainment and unemployment rates.
The educational attainment is much higher for white households, for example, that have college degrees. And so if you look at the percentage of white households that have college degrees, it's almost 23%. For African Americans over the age of 25, about 16% have college degrees.
And if you dig deeper into the issue, Dr. Navin says other factors why not as many African Americans are going to college include lack of access and tradition.
You know, you have many more now white second generation, third generation college educated families who go through high school with the expectation that at the end of high school you're going to go to college. That's not true for African American households right now. And part of it is location, just being where they're located and what educational opportunities are available.
For those earning a bachelor's degree or higher, median household income is about $101,000 a year. High school or less, $46,000. The Brookings Institute, an independent research organization based in Washington, D.C., reports the net worth of a typical white family is near 10 times greater than that of a black family. The Institute also reports median net worth declined by more for black families from 2007 to 2013 versus white families. And when it comes to wealth, the ratio of white family wealth to black family wealth is higher today than in the beginning of the century.
Here it is, the news about the coronavirus.
Access to health care and health
That's
insurance
right,
plays a big role
the
in
news
social status,
about the
life
coronavirus.
expectancy, even income generation. He says if education is the driver, then increased access is key and should be a driving force heading into election season. And as for Strickland, he says wealth disparity is a broader policy conversation that needs to happen, in addition to the implementation of a living wage.
If we truly believe that we want to address issues of racial injustice and address issues of wealth gaps and wage gaps, we have to believe that economic justice is a racial justice issue. This is not a fault of any one individual or any one group. It is on the structures and the systems that are not building the pathways for people to thrive.
For Spectrum News, I'm Dennis Viviano.
Heading back to school this fall will certainly look and feel a lot different this year. Teachers across the state are talking about their excitement and their concerns as their districts work to nail down a plan that follows state mandates as well as health guidelines. In Convoy, Ohio, in the western part of the state, Crestview High School football coach and American history teacher James Lotzenheiser is ready to start school, but he's concerned about kids learning, the social emotional trauma they may bring to class, and family unemployment challenges. About 2 hours south of here in Ohio, We talked with Heather Stamba, an American Studies teacher. Her concerns range from curriculum adjustments if they're not able to maintain face-to-face learning. She also worries about the risk of COVID being transmitted while at school and just the overall pressure of restarting school.
Looking at the numbers now, I have quite a few staff members who are living in fear, and then to be asked to come back at what looks like 100% with masks and some social distancing, it adds extra anxiety.
As both teachers prepare for the rollout of an official restart plan, they're looking to legislators to make the right decisions so that districts across the state do not come up short on financial resources once school starts. Working from home has presented its challenges for a lot of employees and businesses these past few months since the pandemic hit. As our Olivia Weil learned, one company has not only embraced its new digital space, but it's thriving in it as well.
In 2 days, 95%
Here it
of our
is.
clients either
The news about the coronavirus.
Many businesses have been forced to operate from home during
That's
the coronavirus
right.
pandemic, and
The
Improv
news
Edge is no
about the
different.
coronavirus.
But CEO and founder Karen Huss is restructuring a service as interactive as Improv has had its challenges.
In 2 weeks, when we first got started, we had to redesign about $300,000 worth of business.
Her business, which is based in Columbus, uses improv skills to teach team building, diversity, and inclusion.
We use neuroscience and psychology to underpin the use of improv to make this learning incredibly engaging and meaningful and unbelievably sticky.
Once offering training options from half day to 9 months in-person workshops, Improv Edge now hosts 90-minute virtual sessions too. It's also expanded its service to help its clients navigate the digital realm.
So we work with them on how to show up in front of the camera and how to deal with this online virtual world. But secondly, we also are tech consultants to them.
And though the pandemic forced the company to shift its platforms, Director of Business Development Brooke Cardis says it touches on the same subjects that are even more meaningful right now.
There is no moment where improvisation is more relevant than in talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion.
She says part of Improv Edge includes encouraging leaders to tackle difficult topics in the workplace.
How are you having conversations about race, gender, sexual orientation with your teams in the workplace in a space of empathy and authenticity that's going to shift and move the culture forward? And how are you going to develop trust with your team?
And when it comes to the concept of a team, Huss says she is thankful for her own ensemble.
I've never been more proud to be a business owner and to employ people during a difficult time. I've never been more proud of the people that I'm lucky enough to work with. That's impressed.
Olivia Weil, Spectrum News.
Hey there and good afternoon, Northeast Ohio. I'm meteorologist Ashley Beatty. Thank you so much for checking in with us for your updated weather on the One forecast here on Spectrum News 1. It's an absolutely gorgeous afternoon across Northeast Ohio, seeing plenty of blue sky and, yes, pleasant temperatures in the mix as well. Highs for most of us remaining in the 70s, and into this evening, those numbers will be coming down very nicely. Now, notice here a stray spot shower could still develop, but the vast majority of us will stay dry, and any rain we do see is going to be very limited in terms of our coverage and intensity. So for many of us, even if you do see rain, it's not going to be much more than a couple of sprinkles. Now, pretty quickly, especially along and south of I-80, numbers will be coming down through tonight. Away from that Lake Erie influence, we're not seeing those moderated temperatures, and as we clear out, we see those readings falling pretty rapidly through the 60s. Now, overnight tonight, some of us could potentially be waking up to readings in the 50s, at least away from Lake Erie. For this evening, though, remaining in the 70s. It's not until around 11 o'clock we see 60s coming back to Cleveland itself, but from there dropping off very nicely, and we do have a really comfortable forecast for you by tomorrow morning. Again, generally lower 60s right along the lakeshore, and then notice how we drop by another 3 to 5 degrees as we get away from Lake Erie, coming down to 59 for Akron Canton, and look for an overnight low of 57 degrees for Medina. So a nice crisp, cool start to your day tomorrow.
Right.
But from there, temperatures will be pretty rapidly climbing. A lot of sunshine in your Tuesday forecast. So remember, starting off near 60, already by 9 o'clock, we're nearing mid-70s. That's where we'll be for your lunch hour. And from there, we'll see those temperatures continue to climb a bit through the afternoon, working their way into the lower 80s for many of us tomorrow. And some of us will be flirting with mid-80s in the forecast as well. Akron Canton 84 for your high
even right along the lakeshore. Temperatures will be cooler, but I'm still forecasting 80s across the board. So 80s tomorrow for Menor as well as Ashtabula for your highs. From there, we're going to see a big spike in our temperatures coming our way on Wednesday, jumping by about 10 degrees to a high of 91. Notice there's a little bit of a dip in here Wednesday or Thursday, Friday, but that's only because we're reintroducing chances for showers and thunderstorms late in the afternoon, early into the evening, so that won't allow our readings to warm up quite as much. However, 90s are back for that weekend forecast. More details on your Saturday, Sunday coming up in less than 10 minutes. Fire Storm Track Doppler radar.
Being made in the U.S. Navy. The new height a black woman is setting in the military. Next.
With Spectrum Mobile, what you see is what you get. That means no added taxes or fees. Get an unlimited data plan for just $45 a month per line. That includes unlimited talk and text, too. You can save up to 40% on your mobile bill, and there are no contracts. Experience the fastest overall speeds and the most reliable mobile service coast to coast with Spectrum Mobile. Now the fastest growing mobile provider in the nation. Learn more at SpectrumMobile.com.
Always Ohio, always refreshing, always on. We are Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum. Sunday morning, take an in-depth look at your community. In Focus with Mike Kallmeyer. A half-hour show dedicated to the important issues, driven to bring decision makers together, and committed to elevating discussion and debate. Your community, your state, your show. In Focus with Mike Kallmeyer, Sunday morning at 10:30 on Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
Weather in Ohio is changing all the time.
We get winter one day and 60s the next. At Spectrum News 1, our goal is refreshingly simple.
We bring you an accurate, reliable, and local forecast every 10 minutes.
We have an incredible and experienced team of people. We don't just know about the weather, we know about Ohio.
You never have to wait for your forecast with your Weather on the One.
Weather on the One, every 10 minutes, exclusively on Spectrum.
So this is Eva, and she goes everywhere with me. Like her, I have this innate sense of curiosity. I really like meeting new people. I love to explore, and right now I'm trying to travel to every national park across the country. Every morning, that same curiosity is what drives me as a journalist.
News 1, I'm Cynthia Constantine.
It really fuels the type of stories that we do. It defines us as Ohioans, and it's why I'm so excited to call this place home.
First time in recorded history, a black woman is set to be a U.S. Navy tactical pilot. Naval Air Training Command is congratulating Lieutenant Madeline Sliegel. In a tweet, it says she's receiving her Wings of Gold this month. The military magazine Stars and Stripes says she'll likely fly Super Hornets, Growlers, or Joint Strike Fighters. The Washington Redskins are changing their name. Today, the football team announcing they will be officially retiring the name Redskins, as well as their current logo. Many have called for the team to make the change amidst rallies for racial justice nationally, citing the racist nature of the name. The new name and logo has not been announced. They concluded their statement saying in part Dan Snyder and Coach Rivera are working closely to develop a new name and design approach that will enhance the standing of our proud tradition-rich franchise. A passion for fashion mixed with art. The college graduate exploring a new business opportunity coming up next in today's Ohio Stories. But first, Ashley.
Relatively comfortable temperatures out there this afternoon, but we've got 90s making a comeback to our forecast. I'll let you know how much longer we have before that surge in temperatures arrives. That's just ahead in your next weather on the One.
Get excited for the plays, for the rush, the cheers, the tradition. Get ready to put your business inside the action. Everyone is here for the experience. Because wherever your customers are watching, that's the stadium. Advertising live events and coverage is our favorite sports return to the game. It's Spectrum Reach. We fan together.
Give me an opportunity to see every corner of the state. I want to empower our communities and redefine what a news channel can be.
Every morning, the people of Ohio have the opportunity to wake up and start fresh.
We want to be a different kind of news channel, putting storytelling and community first.
Well, it's really humbling to be invited to our neighbors' homes and help them plan their day. Welcome to your morning news. I'm Sophia Tompkins. Take a look at your weather on the One. You've got a large band of stations.
Your morning news, weekday mornings on Spectrum News 1. Sunday morning, take an in-depth look at your community. In Focus with Mike Kallmeyer, a half-hour show dedicated to the important issues, driven to bring decision makers together, and committed to elevating discussion and debate. Your community, your state, your show. In Focus with Mike Kallmeyer, Sunday mornings at 10:30 on Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
Maybe I'll run for president, maybe I won't, but I will tell you that I'm not going to go away.
Here it is. The news about the coronavirus.
We're probably the first professional sports team in the world that is built on a
That's right.
The biggest ice cream shipper in the
The
nation.
news about the coronavirus.
I get to live my dream. I mean, what did I ask for?
Conversation, Sunday and Tuesday night at 9 on Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
Hey there, Northeast Ohio. I'm meteorologist Ashley Dating. It is an absolutely gorgeous afternoon out there. Your evening looking very pleasant as well, with only minimal rain chances in the forecast for us through the rest of the evening. Maybe a quick little spot shower is going to be possible, but by and large we're dry and really comfortable this evening, with those temperatures after sunset falling off pretty quickly, particularly away from the lakeshore, where pretty rapidly after sunset we're going to see temperatures coming back down into the 60s. For areas right along the lake, it's not going to cool off quite that quickly, but we're still in for a very pleasant evening. Let me walk you through it. Readings in the mid-70s by 7 o'clock this evening. From there, temperatures falling off a little bit more sharply after 9 o'clock, and then we'll ultimately wind up with overnight lows in the 60s right along the lake, likely seeing some upper 50s as we get a little bit farther south away from that Lake Erie influence. Minimal rain chances through Wednesday, and a little bit of a spike here coming our way on Thursday as we reintroduce some of those late day showers and likely a few thunderstorms into our forecast as well. About a 40% chance there, about another 30% on Friday. So seeing more of those late day summertime pop-ups. Additionally, we're going to be bringing back the heat. Already by Wednesday, we're back up near 90, and for the weekend, we're going to be seeing temperatures right around there as well. Both Saturday and Sunday, I'm expecting a daytime high of 91. But heads up, with a surge in humidity coming our way later this week, those low 90s are actually going to feel more like mid to upper 90s during the afternoon. On Lake Erie, water temperatures in the 70s, light winds today out of the northeast, 5 to 10 knots, and 1 to 2 foot waves. Checking out that 7-day forecast, dry again tomorrow, temperatures very nice, right around 80, but then we'll see that big spike in our temperatures coming our way Wednesday. A little dip there Thursday and Friday, but that's only due to increased rain chances during the afternoon. We're back in the 90s for the weekend. Overnight lows will be warming up significantly as well, only dropping into the 70s for the second half of the week.
Some people are just born entrepreneurs. They see an opportunity and then they go for it. Recent College graduate Isaiah Kelly fits that description to a T. Several years ago, Kelly discovered a market for hand-drawn custom sneakers. And before he even graduated from college, he built a business around one-of-a-kind works of wearable art. Take a look at his Ohio story.
Shoes or any sort of clothing, it's like a luxury item, but it's also, some sort of a status. I don't want to have shoes that everyone else has. Everybody is just looking for, that creativity or that self-expression outlet. My name is Isaiah Kelly. I am the founder of Snoop Creations, and we focus on cleaning, restoring, and customizing shoes and walk on. Going into my freshman year of college, I used to go on YouTube and just type in how can I get shoes for cheap. And so I came across some 12-year-old kid painting a pair of shoes, and he was selling it for $400 or $500 a piece. Me being a broke college student, I was like, man, that's something I can do easily. And going into summer of 2017, I worked at Walmart, I saved up, got the materials myself, and I started painting shoes. The very first pair of shoes I painted were a pair of Rainbow Huarache. Typically, we have the shoes, we provide the shoes. All the shoes are brand new from different retailers, and typically the sneakerheads, they typically know what they want, they know what design that they want, but a lot of times we get people that don't really know what they want, so we offer just consultation, just talking about what their favorite things are, their favorite colors, hobbies, or maybe even their favorite cartoon character, and we're able to execute that and put them on shoes. I've worked on heels, I've done a pair of cleats that were in the NFL this past December, I've done basketball shoes, I've done Air Force Ones a lot, just different ballet shoes, clogs, just all sorts of different materials I've been able to work on. So this is Dragon Ball Z. So the matching pair of this shoe is a dragon. But yeah, so this is actually my favorite custom. I think what brings me the most joy is just the fact that, somebody is not only willing to pay for a pair of shoes, but I've also been able to see some people wear my shoes. And I think that's just really flattering that somebody trusts me with their vision and their creativity, and they're willing to represent it themselves. When I started, I did this alone. I was painting shoes by myself. I was also making our company website, handling sales, talking to customers. So it was very, very difficult being able to do that and handle it. And I even lost some business because of it, just because it was difficult for me to respond in time because I had my hand in so many different pots. So that was just a big failure that I had to learn and how to get through. And me having team members has really helped me with that. So prepping and then taping is the most important, because if you don't prep it well, the paint's just going to fall off and it's not going to be wearable. It saves you a lot of time if you tape off very well, because you won't have any touch-ups to do. So yeah, they're both very, very important steps before you start painting. Other than that, I typically my favorite is just the painting process, just because it's fun. I started in my garage and on my kitchen table customizing shoes. I didn't even know the things that I'm doing now existed, but I was able to hone in on a craft and being able to achieve something that was just really, really cool. Especially doing this while being a college student, there was many very, very long nights and just weeks where it wasn't a lot of sleep, but I'm very passionate about it, and I love shoes, and I love what I'm able to do. So my goal, honestly, right now we do shoes, but we want to get into other sorts of apparel, just like t-shirts, hats, phone cases, wallets. We want to provide people with just a wide range of self-expression. Customizing shoes is something that I can honestly say that I do it every single day. It is something I love, and it's something that I take pride in. And so I would say that's the most fun part for me, is knowing that I have a passion for something, and I'm able to work for myself. I'm Isaiah Kelly, and this is my story.
Ohio Fun Facts are sponsored by the Ohio Senior Health Insurance Information Program.
At Primary Superstore, we want you to treat yourself. 500 cards under $189 a month. 1,000 under $249. All with free lifetime warranty. Shop in store or online. 0% financing and 0 down available. PrimarySuperstore.com.
High fly ball going back and see ya.
Whether you're listening to the ball game on the radio, picking up that favorite family meal,
or celebrating one of life's greatest accomplishments. We're here to help you get there safely, in the comfort of your own vehicle. Visit LibertyFord.com for all your automotive needs.
Thank you for caring for your neighbors and communities in a way we never imagined would be necessary. We salute all Ohioans for helping their fellow Buckeyes in need during these unprecedented times.
Celebrating Ohioans everywhere, supporting each other. We are one Ohio.
Dinner with Drake tonight? Alexa, ask viewers to start my On4 GX. For filet.
You know that dinner's for their
Kids. Thanks for watching them.
Where's the pizza?
The first ever Buick Encore GX. Now everyone can get the GM employee discount on most 2020 Buick SUV models.
What if you had to choose between fixing the roof over your head and putting food on the table? What if that leak led to mold growing in your home? What if you no longer had a safe place to call home? Help Rebuilding Together make repairs for our neighbors who have lost jobs and have to make those difficult choices. Text REBUILD to 484848. It's 4 o'clock. Have questions about COVID-19? Visit coronavirus.ohio.gov.
Thanks so much for joining us here on Spectrum News 1. I'm Mary Lee Melendez. Coming up this hour, going back to school. We ask teachers what they think about reopening schools and how they plan to follow health guidelines. And we'll have more on that story in just a moment, but first let's check in with meteorologist Ashley Beatty, who's in the Weather Center. And Ashley, pretty nice out there today. Hard to complain.
Yeah, really comfortable temperatures today, highs in the 70s and 80s, but heading into the middle of the week, we are going to be looking at not only the return of 90-degree temperatures, but also humidity back in the picture. Let's get right to your weather on the 1. A few puffy cumulus clouds out there today. For the vast majority of us, though, those will not be producing rain chances. Our odds of seeing showers today only around 10 to as much as 20%. Many of us are going to look like this through the afternoon. A few clouds dotting the skyline, but overall a pretty nice afternoon with high temperatures 70s to mid-80s pretty much across the board. Best chance for any little spot showers we could see largely going to be southeastern Ohio. And once we get into this evening, those rain chances pretty quickly wind down completely. And from there, a partly cloudy night with a little bit of patchy fog possible and pretty comfortable temperatures by early tomorrow morning. We'll see overnight lows for many of us falling down into the 60s. Some of us waking up to some cool 50s by early tomorrow morning, dropping to 59 Mansfield, Akron, coming down to 59 as well for Lima, Chillicothe. Now enjoy the relatively cool air while it's here, because we're going to be looking at 90s making a comeback to our forecast by Wednesday, and that heat will be sticking around. I'll have that weekend forecast for you coming up in just a few.
As the coronavirus numbers in dozens of states continues to surge, Ohio is still adding more than 1,000 new cases every day. The Ohio Department of Health is reporting more than 1,200 new cases across the state today. It brings the total to nearly 67,000. The state is now averaging more than 1,000 new cases per day over the last 3 weeks. The number of new hospitalizations, meanwhile, are below 75 for the 3rd straight day, and the number of new ICU admissions and deaths are also remaining relatively low. All of these numbers come as Ohio reports just more than 18,000 new tests in a 24-hour span. Heading back to school in the fall will certainly look and feel a lot different this year. Our Tanisha Johnson talked with a couple of teachers about their excitement and concerns as their districts work to nail down a plan that follows state mandates and health guidelines.
There's a mixture of emotions about school starting this year. For teachers, that ranges from excitement to concern for kids.
With a stopwatch in hand, Coach James Watsonizer is up and at 'em early with his players at Crestview High School in Convoy, Ohio. He's trying to set the stage early with strength and conditioning training in preparation for what they hope will be an upcoming football season. As they practice, the 8th grade American history teacher is a little anxious about the new